Let's install a passenger seat and pretty up our budget rally car. Welcome back to the Audio Obscure Garage. Chadwick with you again for another installment of Project V50. And it's an important one, guys. I've always wanted a budget rally car with two front seats. And today I aim to make that happen. Now, that should be a pretty easy process, but it's not when someone takes a knife to all the wiring in your power front seat in your Volvo V50. More on that coming up, but we're gonna take care of that today. Also, let's make our budget rally car look like a rally car by cleaning it up, adding some fun add-ons to the exterior. No AutoZone chrome plastic stuff this time. But we're gonna do some stuff to make it stand out a little bit. I think that's very necessary to make it a rally car, not just a normal car. A couple admin notes from the last episode. I did show the cost of the new tires. What I didn't show, and integrity is our #1 policy on this channel, as you guys know. Please don't fact check that statement. We have to pay to have those tires mounted and then an alignment done. It'd be foolish not to. So that was $170. I got a nice veterans discount at a local tire place. So I'm gonna put that on the scoreboard now, reduce our remaining budget. I think we're currently, look at my scratch paper because my memory is wonderful, starting off today's episode with a budget of $184 left in the piggy bank for this budget rally car. Let's stretch those pennies, shall we? Time to get in the garage, get a little dirty. Before we even think about putting that passenger seat in, here's the B-pillar removed. This is the seatbelt assembly essentially, so you got all the componentry that goes there. As you can see, our knife-wielding previous owner, who cut all the wires, also cut the seatbelt, which makes this whole job fun. Now with this particular Volvo, and I think almost all the other P1 Volvos at the time and all the other Volvos, similar vintage, have the same setup. The seatbelt actually connects to the seat itself, so you will see that when we go to put the seat in, we'll have to attach that. Now, we did source a replacement one right here. It's got everything pretty much all in one. The belt is one thing. It's marked V50 2005. Can't beat that match. I got a bunch of electrical connectors we'll have to do when we hook it up, but that's pretty much it. This is what connects to the seatbelt. This bolt kind of goes into right where the seatbelt connects with this latch system. Very essential piece to have. Now, if you cut the seatbelt, you gotta replace the belt on there. So this is part of it. We'll connect to our seat when we put it in. Let's get this old one out of here. Should be pretty straightforward. All right, to get this off, we just need a 14mm socket, and we need a T20 Torx bit. Old unit removed. Okay, time to install the new unit. It's the opposite of what we did before. Probably start off with those big bolts. Cool, now to work on that seat. The passenger seat, here's what we're working with down here. Obviously, belt was cut. I had a rainbow knife, went crazy. Previous owner stuff. This is that T50 bolt we can remove, and then we can replace this whole section. You can see how the seat belt goes in, like so. So we're gonna replace that since the new one came with this section. And just swap. After you loosen that T50 bolt, you can pretty much pull that out. There is one more wire we gotta disconnect. That also came with my new one, or my used replacement one. So let's go ahead and disconnect that connector first. And look under the seat and I'll show you the wiring disaster. And here's kind of the horror story. You got all these wires we need to reconnect, and we don't have a lot of slack, so I'm gonna have to get pretty creative with this job, guys. This is gonna be a lot tougher than I anticipated. Yikes, there's just so much going on. You got airbags, power seat, seat belt, sensor, wires. There's so much going on here. All right, I'm probably not gonna show too much of it. It's gonna be more me soldering and repairing wires. Fun times. The car, we're not doing too much better. He cut a lot of these very close to where they're attached here to this junction box. That sucks. This is gonna be really hard to repair in place, but I'm gonna try my best. A lot of solder, a lot of careful cutting, and wearing reading glasses so I can see all this, but calm down, knife man, calm down. All right, let's start this journey. So one screw goes through here and holds the back of this harness on the seat. He could have just undone that one screw from the front and kept the seat as one instead of doing this, instead of cutting every single wire. I am beyond confused and upset, but we gotta fix this, guys. Yikes. Okay, guess that's what we're working with here. So I've got the harness that was savagely removed from the seat all prepped as best as I can anyway, to be connected to these wires again. It's gonna be a lot of soldering, a lot of fun stuff there. But come to find out, I was actually missing some componentry. There's a plug here. There's a line that goes from back here into that same plug that I'm completely missing, which is super unfortunate. And not to mention, there is a cable here that runs, we haven't put it in the car yet, but it runs from where the seatbelt mounts on the B-pillar underneath. And that's kind of a sensor that tells you if someone's in the seat, and it goes to a couple other things. That connection's missing. So I got super lucky, got on eBay, secured the wiring harness I need. Now, there was only one of these for sale for this vehicle, so I got extremely lucky, guys. I can't stress that enough. I don't know if you can find many of these in the junkyard, so got super lucky. So it kind of plugs in here. What's actually cool is it did come with not sliced blue and maroon, which blue and maroon right there. So we'll have an original replacement, just pop that right in, plug and play. Here's the connector that goes to the seat. So that'll plug right in, and then this goes behind. Actually, this one with the yellow, I'll just replace this cut one with the yellow. Super lucky there. eBay is awesome for this kind of stuff, guys. I freaking love eBay so much. But anyway, important part. So we got this disconnected. This is the one he cut. It's part of the harness, well, section of harness I purchased. So we'll just replace that. And then we can click this in. And this whole harness kind of just clicks in here. We'll move these wires out of the way. You know, I might have more space to connect this to here, so I'm gonna leave this unclipped for now. But these two, again, we'll replace these. So just kind of tuck them out of the way. Need the old soldering iron, a real workout today with all this wiring. Yeah, some shrink heat wrap here to keep the wires insulated. Good stuff. Yeah, let's see what we're working with. So you can see we got our harness back on, clipped back onto the seat. Everything's insulated, all the wires are connected. That harness we bought, that little section of harness we bought was so necessary. A couple more connections right here. This one goes under the seat. It's already in the vehicle, and then we have to attach, obviously, the seat belt to the side of the system. I think it's back here somewhere. Actually might, who knows, somewhere around there. Could even be down here. The seat belt kind of bolts in, so we'll do that. And then we should be golden, guys. I'm hoping, I think all the connections are good enough. We should have full functionality restored to the seat. Let's go ahead and try to get in the car. By the way, that took quite a few hours. As we're about to place the seat back in the car for the first time since I've owned it, you can see that little clip there. That's what goes down underneath and connects to that clip from that new part of the harness we have. And there's the front harness clip that's gonna screw right into where we mounted the other one on the seat itself. So those two clips will need to be done. Probably gotta lean the seat back and forth, do that before you bolt it down, but... Oh, another thing to be aware of, this is a beastie seat. This is a heavy boy. This thing weighs probably around 75 pounds based on the feelings I'm getting from my aged lower back. So be aware of that when you go to lift it in the car. It's a heavy one. All right, let's get it in there. Well, this looks just about right. What I didn't film is the depression that set in after I hooked the seat up and it wouldn't slide or do anything. No power going to it. Pretty sad. I was wondering if I messed up some of my connections or whatnot. But spoiler alert, if you look at the floor there and all the spilled fuses. I checked the fuse panel underneath here. Pretty interesting. I had to look up the diagram online because I don't have an owner's manual. And the fuse for the passenger power seat was burnt out. Replaced it with another 25 amp fuse and our seat works perfectly. Whew, big job. That's probably the biggest, probably the single most biggest job I had to do on this car to get it ready for the rally. So awesome. Let's get it bolted into place, make sure all our connections are good again, and we should have a working passenger seat for the first time since I've owned this car. Big success here, guys. So we have to pass the seat belt through the B pillar here, but there's no way that big Torx bolt and piece are going to fit through there. And that's after pulling out this piece, and I still don't have enough clearance. But don't worry, there's an easier way to take your seatbelt up. If you look down in here, you can see that little tab sticking out just under this screw here. There's a little tab right there at the end of my screwdriver. You can actually just depress that and pull out the seatbelt just like that. That's where you'll pass through your B pillar, nice and small, connect it again, and you're good to go. That's the easiest way to disconnect the seatbelt in one of these cars. Since it is pretty clean in here already, let's go ahead and just detail it up, clean it, make it nice, clean all the windows so we can see out pretty good. It's not a bad little place to stay. Wheels. Bringing them back really transforms the exterior appearance of a vehicle. As you can see, we have a lot of brake dust. Probably too much brake dust, it's kind of wild. Pads look good, but interesting how much brake dust is on there. Just probably hasn't been cleaned in a while. Let's clean that up. You can see we have our grippy new Yokohamas on there, but we can't keep the wheels looking like that. Let's clean them up. Okay, first things first, we're gonna use a little Meguiar's aluminum wheel cleaner here. This chemical really dissolves this brake dust really nicely. So that'll be our first attack strategy here, making these wheels look good. So let's hit it up, clean them up. All right, that looks a lot better already. Don't worry, we got more work to do. But this kind of like gunmetal, I guess it's more of a dark chrome, was super popular in this period. I know Lexus was doing it on a bunch of their cars, so it's just a freaking cool looking wheel. 16s, good size, makes the wagon look big, which I like. But yeah, what a cool wheel design. Big fat fives always look good. I think they always look great on cars. So let's make them shine. Now to make this brand new rubber look nice, little Meguiar's foam, good product right here. Let's go ahead and throw that on there. All right, we'll let the tire shine kind of adhere to the tire, shine it up a little bit, and then we'll come back and see how much better we're looking. But God, look at that. That dark chrome is just beautiful. And this looks fantastic. This is a completely different looking wheel than before. Yeah, the wheel's not perfect, guys, but how much of an improvement are we talking here? Just cleaning up the wheel, getting all that brake dust off, shining up the tire a little bit. Classic tricks. But no, it looks fantastic. I'm telling you, huge fan of these Volvo 16-inch 5-spokes and this dark chrome. It pops with the dark blue, but we'll see that. We gotta make the paint match these wheels now, but this looks awesome. Here on the side of the vehicle, the paint, plenty of trail scratches, so this thing might have done some rallying before I got to it, but it's got some fade, just 20 years of age, 188,000 miles to do that. It needs to be reset, and the best way to do that, my old friend, the Meguiar's Ultimate Compound, little cheap DA polisher on a power drill. It's gonna take a little while with this little 4-inch pad, but you know what? It's worth it. So let's shine this up, bring this luster back, because this is cool. This is Barents Blue, named after the Barents Sea, which is just around, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, and all that fun stuff up there. So yeah, it's Swedish. It's a Swedish sea color, so let's make it shine again. Look at that shine. Great reflection. Next up is polish, and then we'll put some good wax on it. We're here at the side mirror on our Volvo V50, and this yellow turn signal lens is really detracting. This kind of faded paint, not helping either. The answer? Of course it's more compound. Let's go ahead and hit it with our DA polisher. I bet we can make this pretty clear and get this a little shinier. You can actually see the orange turn signal bulb in there. Awesome. Little touches, right? So we've got this trim piece down here, heavily discolored. Obviously when I use the compound and wax, it gets on there and makes it look even worse. So we gotta clean that up. I've got some product that we can use on it. Okay, we've got our Meguiar's Ultimate Black. Pretty good product for bringing this plastic back. After we hit it with the alcohol, of course it got even, lighter. So it'll really help the exterior of our car if we can get that looking deep black, or at least some shade of dark gray again. Oh yeah, that's gonna take a couple coats probably. This is a pretty faded piece of plastic here, so. Time to follow that rubbing compound with some polish. Get our DA polisher going, let's shine this up. Got that deeper shine going with the polish. Now it's time to add that wax. Seal it all up. Looking good, Volvo. Here's the driver's side headlight on our Volvo V50. And just, these are the original lights. The plastic housing takes a beating after 188,000 miles. So we're gonna clean these up. We'll use some compound, some polish. Our old reliable Ultimate Compound by Meguiar's. Ended up doing a couple passes with the compound. It looks fantastic. It's time to continue down the path of shininess with some Ultimate Polish by Meguiar's and a different DA polishing pad. Let's do it. Oh, these came out killer. These are some of my favorite headlights. I love the black housing that these P1 cars have. Of course, I saved a little bit of budget for some fun stuff, some aesthetic improvements to the car. I think a rally car should be shouty, should be a little more fun. Nothing's more goofy, satirical than this on a Volvo. Love these things, a little Ferrari shout out, but drew up a little template here with tape. This is gonna be my location I go with, so I think this is a nice clean spot. Similar, we can't obviously do the Ferrari stuff because the Ferrari one's way up here. It's got, the roof line's more in line with the mirror on like a 458 or something, but on this Volvo, I think that's a premium spot to plant this bad boy. Let's go ahead and do it. Ooh, that looks perfect. Let's go ahead and press it into place. A clean microfiber, making sure we don't get any bubbles under this bad boy. Oh, worth every penny. Look how killer that looks, guys. Rally car. We got some more aesthetic mods coming your way. I think the yellow matches this Barron's blue so well. Let's put some vinyl fog light covers on. These are pretty affordable. And they'll, again, our prancing moose will be complemented with this yellow. Yeah, give the car a little more attitude, a little more sense of occasion, if you will. So let's go ahead and slap these on. These ones you don't need water to install. They're a dry install, but I'm not gonna be able to do it while holding the camera. Let me fidget around with that and get it in there, and I'll show you what it came out. The fitment isn't that bad, and obviously the fog light had some scuffs and stuff on it, and those show through, but this looks awesome. This looks really good. Let's do a parking light test with just the fog lights on and see how cool they look. All right, time to give it the running lights on test and see how good our yellow fogs look. Obviously, look how good our headlights look. Let's see how we're looking. Yeah, that's the look I was going for. That is killer. Oh, a little bit of rally attitude. I'm happy with it. Job complete.